these storms. They did report a funnel cloud within this system. A lot of this is rain wrapped, as Brett said, 4-inch per hour estimates. If that storm sat there for that period of time, would be dropping 4 inches of rain. That's where we get the rain wrapped situation, and it wraps in, that wind wraps in the rain and pulls it around. Right around Melrose right now. Obviously, we've been telling you this for the last 15 to 20 minutes, but you need to be seeking shelter as we speak. The velocity, or the wind scope off of the Mega Doppler S, showing us the direction of the wind. When we have it to the green to the red, that's where we have that inflow to outflow boundary, and that's where we have that very strong vortex signature. We will see, I think, wind damage out of this system, certainly with the extra rainfall we're going to see here within the next hour to 2 hours. Later tonight, when we have that second round of strong thunderstorms, we could have some trees uprooted because of the very soggy situation here. We do have that storm track for you. This is for that area just to the east of Melrose. So Albia, Avery, Blakesburg, you need to be seeking shelter right through 2:25 this afternoon through about 2:40. We're still going to have this line of thunderstorms, certainly, possibly the tornado. That tornado warning is still in effect this afternoon until 1:45. So right up through about another 10 minutes, almost not quite 10 minutes, we'll see that tornado warning still in effect. The extension on the yellow is the severe thunderstorm warning, and that will continue until 2:15 for Lucas, Mahaska, Marion, Monroe. That's that outlined area here toward Eddyville, Oskaloosa, Albia. We are going to see the strongest thunderstorms producing straight line wind at time, heavy rain, the hail is possible. All of those combinations creating some very dangerous situations for much of that area down around Sheraton toward Albia. Seek shelter as we speak. Oskaloosa, you folks need to be on the watch. We do have a tornado watch within this same area. That means that conditions are favorable for the formation of strong thunderstorms that could produce tornadoes. We still have the tornado warning that we just showed you there till 1:45, the severe thunderstorm warning until 2, and that watch will go right through the rest of the evening. I do think that we're going to see an extension of that tornado watch. So everything in yellow, I think you can pretty much just calculate that this is going to be extending down to the south and west, because we have 87-degree temperatures down in the Wichita, Kansas area. That's where that heat is building up. Now we're seeing the sunshine here, and you're going to feel that humidity. When you get out there today, that's what's going to feed this storm, and then it's going to set it up like a golf ball on a tee, and it is going to be a hammering effect when that cold air moves through and just starts to push these storms to severe levels late tonight and again tomorrow morning. The outline of these storms all the way up to Waterloo, Mason City, now the clear sky. Look at that big pocket of sunshine right there, down to the south and west of us too. I think the primary concern right now is where we have that heating going on to the southwest. That's where we also have a warm front that's extending back up into the colder air. It's snowing out in South Dakota into Nebraska. They're looking at some heavy amounts of snow throughout sections of Denver today, even in the upper elevations, but down to the city limits of Denver. So this is that cold air that is going to be an extreme switchover as we go into next week. You're going to notice that much colder air is going to be a part of this, again, area that's just going to be kicking in here. That's where we expect that extra tornado watch to be extended, not extended, but set into motion. A new tornado watch for Nebraska, Kansas, southwestern Iowa into our viewing area here, just to that south and western along I-35 back up to I-80. That's going to be just a huge target later on today, set up perfectly for some strong thunderstorms. Here's our notched out area just south and east of Melrose, down to around 142, Highway 142 to Highway 34. Albia, you guys need to be seeking shelter. Look at the rain coming down right now for you folks. Out there we do have storm spotters. We also like to get your pictures to us. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood so that we can pass it along to neighbors around you. Make sure that your whole neighborhood, your streets where you live are safe. That's that area between Tyrone down to Iconium. These small little burgs, little towns, sometimes train junctions at times that still have the namesake, but you can see these county line roads from right here around just south of Tyrone, back 165th Street, rural roads that now very nice for obviously postal concerns, but also for locations for us so we can show you exactly where it's moving on some of our rural gravel roads. We all have addresses now. This is going to be the line or the cone of the strongest thunderstorm line as that tornado warning is still in effect for at least about 3 minutes, 2.5 to 3 minutes. It may be extended as well, but this is a continuance now of that tornado warning until 1:45. Again, just for a few more areas, the Rathbun Lake, that's another key area where folks may be trying to get out from Mother's Day. We've had such a chilly start here into our spring, but lots of folks with boats out there maybe checking on them today. Call them if they obviously they're aware of the severe weather, but that 13 Warn Me app, make sure that you and your family, each one of you, have that on there for the safekeeping of everyone. The tornado warning has now been canceled for Lucas County, but it will continue as we go through the afternoon just to the Monroe County area as well. Brett?
One of the things that I've been noticing here the last couple of radar scans as I roll it back and forth, you see that storm as it approached Melrose had a lot of pink and purple there. It's kind of faded away the last scan or two, and you notice that storm just to the south and west, to the north of Millerton. That may be kind of messing a little bit with some of the clean, warmer air to the southwest that was flowing into this storm. Sometimes these storms can compete, and that begins to tear them apart a little bit. And while it may be weakening the storm, a lot of times when we get kind of storms merging together like that, kind of crashing together, it also enhances the risk for those downburst winds, the straight line winds, and again, a brief spin-up tornado that can sometimes be even harder to detect. So while maybe there have been a few encouraging signs on radar the last couple of scans, at least, that some of the heaviest parts are beginning to drop out, that can also kind of enhance the near-term risk for damaging winds and even the tornado threat as it nears Albia here and Highway 5.
Well, you're right, Brett. You can see where that the element of that hail, which actually shows up in magenta, it's actually a DBZ outread of a reading of the amount of energy coming back to the radar. That's where we see the purples in the high end, maybe a 65 DBZ, but now it's all kind of evaporating to a certain extent. Sometimes we see these hailstorms collapse, and that's where we get the downflow, extreme wind coming down to the ground. As you'll see, just it feels like a truckload of hail maybe dumping back into your neighborhood. We do have this warning for that tornado warning that, again, is going to continue until now 2:15. This is an extension of that first tornado warning, but now that warning in effect until 2:15 for Mahaska and Monroe counties. Folks in Albia, you can see the tail of that tornado, the last one allowed to expire, but until 2:15 now through Blakesburg back up to Eddyville into Albia. You need to be seeking shelter, certainly Moravia as well. This is going to be a dramatic change up here for heavy rain, lots of hail potential, but also that vortex that could be spinning up now between Albia, back to the south and to the west near Melrose, but Moravia as well. So anyone along Highway 5, you're going to be looking at this storm about 7 miles west of Albia. It is going to be moving your way at about 30 miles per hour. So within the next few minutes, the storm is going to be on your doorstep. If you live on the western edge of and northwestern edge of Albia, you need to be seeking shelter. So 148 for Ward, 156 our timeline for Albia and Eddyville, 217. Again, extending this storm out at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. That's what they've been throughout the morning and early afternoon. About 30 mile per hour movement of the whole storm. So be ready and be on the watch tonight. This is a tornado warning, still in effect till 2:15, about 7 miles between just north of Georgetown back over to Albia. You can see it's going to be riding right along that county line road back over toward Ward, and then some of our rural roads like County Highway 121 back up to Heitman. This is just going to be an area where you need to seek shelter right now. As many walls between you and the outside as possible, lowest level, a basement, a foundation structured home or building, not within trailer homes. Of course, we know with the mobile homes, that can be so dangerous because they are just not storm worthy at times when that storm can pick you up and just shake you up like a pea inside of a can or a bean inside of a can, where that's where people get killed, and of course a lot of damage. We want to make sure that you stay with us here with the lowest level, no windows, interior room, 13 Warn Me. You're going to see a live stream. That's where we are right now on Iowa's Weather Channel, obviously. We're continuing our NBC coverage of the TPC tournament players golf going on, but right now we still have lots of severe weather that's going to continue throughout the afternoon. Megan? Yeah, we'll break in. We'll do that right now for a moment. We'll break into 13.1 as well just for a second to keep those folks updated. It looks like they're getting to a kind of a break right now. I can see what's going on there. So let's move over to 13.1 as well. We'll continue that coverage. Hi, meteorologist Ed Wilson here. We're now on Channel 13 and Iowa's Weather Channel. We're just breaking in quickly here. We do have a new tornado warning that's in effect for the area east of where the tornadoes were earlier. This is just going to be throughout the rest of the 2:15 this afternoon for the folks around Albia, Lavelia, all the way down to Blakesburg. You need to be seeking shelter in those particular areas. This tornado warning is still going to be in effect this afternoon. Again, for Monroe and Mahaska counties, these are radar indicated tornadoes, but you can see the velocity of 49 mile per hour in and then coming out at about 53 miles per hour. So the shear is going to give us an indication of where the hook is on this tornado, but also gusty wind that will be capable of topping trees, taking out, again, the ability to see if you're driving. It's going to be rain wrapped at times, I think, because the rain has been so intense. So now we're on Iowa's Weather Channel and Channel 13, just to make sure that you continue to know that these are tornadoes that have not been spotted. We've had funnel clouds throughout the day, and we're also streaming live on your smartphones. So this is the great way to stay available to you at 13 Warn Me, live streaming, and on Channel 13 and Iowa's Weather Channel. We will continue to break into Channel 13 when we need to, and then continuing coverage on Iowa's Weather Channel. We're zooming in now to this area west of Albia. From Heitman to Ward, you can see kind of a weak echo here. Very strong, heavy thunderstorms to the east. Lots of rain, heavy rain, torrential at times coming across Albia. We have a flash flood warning for Osceola. That's going to continue this afternoon. Highway 69 is closed at Osceola. That's the backside of this storm, and this is the area where we really are concerned between Ward up to Heitman, and that's where this tornado is, again, producing that velocity on our velocity return on our radar, the Mega Doppler S, where we can see that spin of that tornado. So most concerned south and west of Lavelia, south and east of Lavelia, down to around the Albia area. And here we have, again, this storm line for you from Albia to Lockman to Dudley, Kirkville, and Ottumwa by 2:36 this afternoon. Everyone within the line of this, especially for Albia right now, please seek shelter. Tornado warnings, sirens probably going off in your areas. Stay tuned to that, but also, and stay aware of that, but also stay tuned here. 13 Warn Me app, live streaming. We have Brett McIntyre, Megan Selwa, Jerry Ann Ritter, all of us in the Storm Center this afternoon. We're overlapping schedules to keep you safe right through the overnight. And Brett, we have a lot of this to come later tonight.
Yeah, a lot of potential here to see these storms continuing right through the overnight. A lot of times we kind of expect those to drop off a bit, but all radar indicated tornadoes at this point. We have seen a few reports of funnel clouds from the storm spotters out there, but right now just near the Rexfield area to Ward, we have that pretty strong signature there showing up in the winds. You see the bright red and bright green very tightly together, not quite as broad of an area, so that's maybe a stronger indication that things are spinning around there just to the west and northwest of Albia. So if you are in Albia, Ward, Rexfield, right now you need to be in your place of shelter. Again, we had kind of Heitman in there as we go through the rural areas of this county, but basically right along 170th Street is where we're expecting that developing tornado to be, crossing Highway 5 here virtually as we speak, as this storm works its way to the east. And this is not a time to go out and try and sightsee here or snap a picture. As you can tell, this is very rain wrapped. You are not going to be able to see it coming. Don't wait to take action. Now is the time. Albia to Eddyville. And Ed, we've got some reports of the tornado sirens beginning to go off in Oskaloosa as well. I'm going to throw the warnings back up here again, and you can kind of highlight us for exactly who is in kind of the real under-the-gun moment here as the latest live sweep of Mega Doppler S cuts on through this storm.
You can see that tornado, again, signature just southwest of Albia. You folks need to be seeking shelter right now. That is that notched out, the hook echo that is just a very dangerous situation. Although there are rain-wrapped tornado situations right now where spotters can't see them, these are all radar indicated. There very well could be within this heavy rain a tornado spinning up in that location. Also between Maxon to Lockman, over to Dudley, Kirkville, and Fremont. You folks need to be ready, especially out on the east side of this cone, but certainly over Lockerman and back into Maxon. We need to make sure that everybody in Albia is seeking shelter right now. Tornado warning still in effect until 2:15. That is for the red area. Severe thunderstorm warning on the outlying area of that. So that's where we have that same scenario that we had earlier today. Severe thunderstorm warnings. Now all the heat, the humidity to the west, it's just feeding into the system, and that's why we're on the air right now. Tornado warning for Albia. Back up to Highway 5. You need to be making sure that if you maybe have some folks out celebrating Mother's Day, trying to drive to and from, you let them know. Keep that 13 Warn Me on your cell phone, and it will keep you safe wherever you are. You can find the warnings and also watch us live streaming right here. Albia, make sure that you're ready. You can see the street outlines here of Albia. Just up to that western edge of Albia, you're going to find that possibility of that circulation with that tornado, radar indicated tornado moving through your area here within the next about 10 minutes. So this is a time to not mess around. Make sure that you're in the lowest level of the building you're in. Stay safe, stay away from windows, and keep it with us right here. Even if you have those temperatures or those conditions where you have folks, maybe kids at home by themselves, tell them to crank up the TV. They can hear what's going on as we're live here as well. Just make sure you're in your shelter, your safe place. 170th Street, back down here to some of our rural roads that now have very nice indicators, of course, helping out the postman, but helping us to give you a good idea as well of what's going to be happening. These strong thunderstorms are going to be pushing right through that area of Albia back over to Benton Avenue. You're going to be seeing this system. This is a tornado warning moving right across Highway 5, and it will continue to press to the east. Hail coming down with large amounts of hail possible, but also very large diameter hail. This is possible right out ahead of this storm, as you see that area, and then rebuilding here to the backside of this, just around Melrose, north and west of there along Highway 34. Lots of hail potential as well. Here's just a hail signature. This is the estimated hail size right just northwest of Blakesburg, about an inch to an inch just over an inch in diameter hail. That is a radar estimate of that. That's why, again, we are able to take that off of the Mega Doppler S, showing us just how strong these storms are. And aloft, this hail has been pushed up to 15, 20,000 foot tops. That's going to produce some heavy downflow wind. When that hail starts to collapse out of these storms, it could produce a 65, 75 mile per hour wind gust. Would not be surprised at all to see that. We're taking our velocity, or the wind scope. We can show where the wind is moving in and out of our radar. And whenever you have the greens to the red at a very tight area, that's where we do see the possibility of tornadoes. Right now, not as strong a signature here, but just to the east of Albia, we are picking up, it looks like, that in and outbound flow. That could be the push out of some of the hail that's falling there as well. But we'll be able to see that hook echo, especially with our velocity mode down to the south and to the west of Albia. So anybody within this area moving to the north and the east, you need to seek shelter right now. This is a tornado warning. While we're on the air here on 13.2 and on NBC. I think we're going to take you back to NBC's coverage here. We'll go back to 13.2 Iowa's Weather Channel. We'll make sure that you stay safe there. You can actually watch us on your tablet, on your computer, live streaming with the 13 Warn Me app or at WHOTV.com while you're watching NBC's coverage of the Gulf. So we'll take you back there for a moment, take you back to NBC, and we'll continue coverage on Iowa's Weather Channel. Good afternoon. This is 13.2 Iowa's Weather Channel, WHO-TV in Des Moines, Iowa. Meteorologist Ed Wilson along with Megan Selwa, meteorologist Megan Selwa along with Jerry Ann Ritter, and our own Brett McIntyre. Just continuing to give you storm team coverage this afternoon. I know a lot of folks around Des Moines are wondering, what is the deal? We have some sunshine breaking in. We have some heat and humidity. It looks like things are starting to clear up for Mother's Day. Well, we do have the potential for much stronger thunderstorms later tonight, and a tornado warning is still in effect for our area, just down to right over Albia right now, but just to the west of Ottumwa. So severe thunderstorm warning also now in effect for Mahaska, Monroe, Wapello counties until 3 o'clock this afternoon. That's just new in, and also severe thunderstorm warning still in effect until 2:15 this afternoon for Mahaska, Marion, and Monroe County. So we're just kind of piggybacking these severe thunderstorm warnings on top of one another, but also the tornado warning that's still down here right around Highway 34. Look at this notched out area between Albia back over to Melrose. You folks need to be seeking shelter. We've told you this throughout the last several minutes, half hour to 45 minutes of continuous coverage. This is where this storm is going to continue to lift. Dropped some amazing amounts of hail here in many locations. Would not be surprised to see hail in diameter of about 2 inches in some locations, certainly an inch, maybe 2 inches on the largest size of the hail that we've seen so far from our estimate of this storm moving through. We will have a tornado warning for Albia, so you folks need to be in your safe place right now in the lowest level of the building you're in a basement, away from windows, as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible. Interior bathrooms without windows, a very good place to be. And of course, permanent shelters, not within mobile homes. We want to make sure that you folks stay safe and stay at the safest possible location, as we not only have tornadoes, but also straight line wind possibilities tonight into tomorrow morning. After later on this evening, we're going to find all the heat and humidity that's building up with this clear sky from Knoxville back down to Sheraton. I won't stand in the way of our tornado warning here, but out to the west, that's where the clear skies continue to build in, and that sunshine is just going to heat up our atmosphere. It's going to just give us a perfect scenario for some pretty intense storms tonight through tomorrow. We do have a tornado watch for the southeastern corner of the state. They're expecting a tornado watch now for that southwestern corner, where we have temperatures really warming up. 87 degrees down in Wichita just within the last hour or so. Our temperatures starting to zip up back into those 70s to 80s quickly, right around 80 degrees as we go through the afternoon. It's possible with that sunshine peeking in here. So that's, again, something to watch here as we get into this heat down to the south and west of us. That's where you have the 80s. Switching back over to the 60s and 50s. And look at the cold air behind this. That's the cold air that's going to kind of come in as a wedge underneath the cold air, heavier than the warmer air. It's going to come in as a wedge and just kick those thunderstorms up later on this afternoon. Right now, we're at 66 degrees in Des Moines, but already 72 in Lamoni, where they've had plenty of sunshine. And there's the warm front that's right along I-80, almost stretching right along the exact geographical area for that highway, and it's moving straight to the north. That warm front will continue to press to the north and continue to kick thunderstorms farther to the north. So biggest threat right now south of I-80. To the north, we're waiting for these storms to start to develop and move in. Mega Doppler S doing a great job this afternoon of pushing from one storm to the next, and you can see the tornado warnings that are still in place here for Ottumwa to Albia, Oskaloosa, the severe thunderstorm warnings. Guys, any updates on the warnings?
Yeah, in fact, a new warning back in right now for the tornado warning that's been extended into Mahaska, southern Mahaska County, basically the southeastern part of that county, as well as Wapello County. This is about 7 miles south of Eddyville, 9 miles east of Albia. We'll go ahead and map that out for you here in just a minute, moving to the northeast at 45 miles an hour. So that storm has now moved on past Albia and has kind of maybe been taken over by a new storm. I could think that initial area of rotation started to weaken a little bit, but here is the new storm kind of that we're taking a look at, and we'll map this out as we head about 9 miles east of Albia and to the south of Eddyville. So right in here, the leading edge of that storm, that is our new tornado warning, mainly for Wapello County at the moment, but extending into southern Mahaska County. Ed, and I'll get you a storm track here with you just a second.
Okay, great. And that's where you can see the folks in Chillicothe right along Highway 63, north of Highway 34. You folks, or south of Highway 34 up to Blakesburg, you need to be seeking shelter as well. But this is really the pinpoint line, and this is going to be moving to the north and slightly to the northeast as we go through the rest of the afternoon. So Kirkville, Hedrick, Delta, then we get over just outside of our viewing area to Sigourney, over to North English, getting a little closer to the eastern Iowa edge of the state, where again it's outside of our viewing area, but we want to continue to press through this area of Oskaloosa to Eddyville. As long as these thunderstorms continue to produce tornadoes, we'll stay on the air here on Iowa's Weather Channel, break into Channel 13 for NBC's coverage as well, but we want to make sure that everybody stays safe. You can see the green arrows, or the green direction of that wind back toward the radar, and then with that red moving back out away. So inflow, outflow, that's where we see that circulation of, again, a vortex, possibly spin right there. It is radar indicated at this moment. We did have some spotters that were out around the Melrose area, which is west of there, that did see a tornado, or a funnel cloud, which can actually spin down and kick up a tornado. But so many of these situations today are going to be rain wrapped. Very dangerous at times. Our spotters are trained. They know where to be. The folks who go out and kind of sightsee, that's the dangerous situation where you're not sure maybe exactly where you should be, where you shouldn't be. We know here living in Iowa, we're kind of used to severe weather. Not unusual to see folks sitting out on the front porch watching these storms move through. But we want you to move inside right now between the area of Munterville back up to Dudley. Some of these smaller towns, still junctions left over from railroads, but you're going to see these strong thunderstorms are pressing your way. So not the time to be out there taking pictures. We'll wait for before and after pictures. You can send them to us at WHO, our Facebook weather page, and also at WHO Weather for Twitter. Lockerman, back to the north and to the west of there, right along this area that is kind of sandwiched between Highway 34 back up to Frederick. We are going to see these strong thunderstorms producing some amazing amounts of wind that are swirling in around this tornado, but also they are producing some hail aloft up to around 20,000 feet. We will see gusty wind within this. Anytime we see thunderstorms over 50,000 feet, that's an extreme storm that can have straight line wind. And you can kind of see this little outlying area here where there's almost no return. That, again, is very concerning when we have severe weather like this, when that top of that storm kind of blows off the very top, and that's where we see those, at times, anvil clouds, but also just that shelf cloud where you actually see lowering of those tornadoes at times. So this is what we have going on right now. Our slice for the storm slice doing a great job showing us exactly the interior, the inside of that storm, if you will, and how that storm continues to press to the east. Clear skies out to the west right now. Des Moines back over to Audubon. Hot, hazy, humid conditions are possible. We have the 80s just to the south and west of us throughout Kansas, Nebraska. It's all going to feed in, and it is going to be a dramatic night for strong thunderstorms, I'm afraid, here throughout central Iowa. The tornado watch is still in effect for the south and eastern, about 1/3 of the state. It includes Des Moines, and it will go throughout the rest of this evening. Another tornado watch is expected south and west of us, and you can see that, again, this is going to be some very strong, severe thunderstorm activity. We have all the ingredients, if you will, kind of like a tornado cake. It's all coming together. We're mixing it up here in central Iowa, and that heat, that oven is just going to be warm as we go through the rest of the day. Oskaloosa to Sheraton, you guys need to be seeking shelter as well. And again, for no radar. Yeah, I'm sorry, Brett.
We're gonna check out here again, kind of a wider view at what we've got going on here in central Iowa. These storms continue to push out of central Iowa into the southeastern corner of the state. Flash flood warnings remaining for I-35 south around the Oskaloosa area. Albia beginning to die down a little bit, but you're in between storms. We have another strong storm pushing through at this point. Our tornado warning for Albia still held on, but it is now extended into the Wapello County area. That is the biggest area of concern at the moment. So we are going to see that tornado warning in place until 2:45 p.m. The tornado warning from Monroe County has about 10 minutes left at this point, but the biggest threat continues to be extending into Wapello County at the moment. We'll take kind of a wider view here and a look at what we are watching for storms. Again, the greatest signature right on the Wapello County line there, that's going to pass just to the north and west of the Ottumwa area between Ottumwa and Eddyville. That's where we have the strongest radar signature at this point. We're keeping an eye back out to the west of Albia. A little bit of some winds kind of fighting here as a couple of storms are merging together a little bit. Gust front maybe on the way again for Albia as this storm begins to pick up. But the greatest area of concern just crossing over into Wapello County at the moment and near the Munterville area back up in toward Chillicothe.
All right, and Brett, we're still watching again for spotters who are out there watching these storms move through. No reports of tornado on the ground at this time, so we'll still again continue to watch where these radar indicated tornadoes will spin up, but no reports of damage at this point. We are seeing some folks saying that marginally sized, about an inch in diameter hail or so. That's going to be, I think, very typical within this storm. That tornado warning is still moving just to the east of Albia, and you can see that outlined area. Hedrick back over to Packwood. This is just going to be an area you need to be watching right now. This is that Albia area. You folks need to be seeking that shelter. Obviously, we've been kind of harping on this throughout the last half hour or so, but it is a serious situation. Within that same cell, we have that notched out area, and that's where we are seeing, again, the potential for a tornado, possibly rain wrapped. So you may not even see this tornado coming. That's why, of course, we keep our Mega Doppler S up and running for you. But this is just going to be a line that's just going to continue to slide through to the east of Albia, toward the Eddyville, just south of Eddyville, over toward Ottumwa as we go through the rest of this afternoon and evening. Oskaloosa, heavy rain for you folks right now. Moravia, a little bit of a break. And out to the west of this system, Maryville, back over to Sheraton, Knoxville. You have a lot of sunshine that's moving in, and it's just going to be the heating element to this strong thunderstorm. We will continue to see these tornado warnings extended at times, and now until 2:45 this afternoon. And this is for Mahaska County and also Wapello County. That severe thunderstorm producing that tornado, just as we're showing you here to the west of Ottumwa and out toward the airport area there. So make sure that you are seeking shelter. You have folks that may not be able to watch today. If they have the 13 Warn Me app, you can see us live streaming. Give them a call. Get the apps on your phone. Stay with us here on Iowa's Weather Channel as we are continuing to stay on the air to make sure that everyone within this line of this tornado warning stays safe. That's the way we operate here. We make sure that we stay with you with our full storm team here, keeping you updated throughout the rest of tonight and again tomorrow morning. Just 8 miles west of Ottumwa, this Blakesburg area to Chillicothe, you need to be in the lowest level of the building that you're in. Stay off the roads. Make sure that you stay as safe as possible within the safe limits of these storms as they move through. You'll see some clearing behind this, but this won't be the end of the severe weather tonight. This line, it continues to move to the north and the east. Kirkville, you're going to find a Hedrick, Sigourney, Harper, and North English all the way into eastern Iowa as this storm continues to hold together, kind of spinning back up to the north and to the east. That's where we're seeing the most severe weather now. So Moravia, you've had your share of severe weather today. Back over to Albia as well. I think you're kind of on the last leg of this particular tornado warning, and as it gets outside of our viewing area, back over into Ottumwa, we'll be able to get back to just breaking in when we need to here on Iowa's Weather Channel. The hail coverage of the ground here, probably hitting the ground at this moment, although this is getting far enough away from our radar that our radar is right at just above that ground level. May not be hitting. It was very warm here at the base level at times, but even though we only had highs today in the 60s, we had pretty warm overnight lows. Here's that notched out area. We're talking about Chillicothe back to Kirkville, I should say, and into Highway 63. That's the line that you need to be seeking shelter in right now. You need to be any rural areas there, obviously exposed farmsteads, could be seeing some damage, especially with this system. The possibility of a straight line wind coming along with this is not out of the question, and we could be ripping roofs off of some of those outlying buildings.